Top of the morning, I'm stretching and yawning, feeling grateful for the blessings that I have been afforded. God has really rewarded me, not just with material things, but with perspective. I eat it up like breakfast, cause I get the message. From now until you're resting with the stars, you'll always see the world not as it is, but as you are. Stay focused on raising your vibration, do the dopest. With every iteration, don't wait on change, provoke it. And when you're at your lowest, heart feeling is broken. Remember, contrast is important to your focus. How would you know which way to go without the diagnosis? And in your darkest hour, reach high. Word to my...
Hello, I am Meredith Marshall, also known as She Who Seeks Knowledge. I am a tribal member of the Nanakot Lenai Lenape Nation, and we are broadcasting live from Netabankak in Lenape Hokan, my ancestral homeland. Our ancestors lived, hunted, and fished along the Delaware and Schuylkill rivers for thousands of years, long before European colonization. We have a deep spiritual connection to this territory, and our identity is inseparable from this land, and it is our duty to protect and preserve it for future generations. I acknowledge the historical injustices and trauma inflicted upon our people, including forced relocation, cultural suppression, and violence. Yet, we remain resilient and proud of our strong and beautiful heritage. By acknowledging our presence and our history, you honor our legacy and contribute to the long journey of reconciliation and healing. Let us work together to build a brighter future, one that respects and celebrates the rich diversity of indigenous cultures and experiences. Wanishi, thank you.
Great day, everybody, and welcome to the Save Our Ancestors radio show. I'd like to welcome our host, Meredith, also known as She Who Seeks Knowledge. I'm your co-host, Tavis Sanders, also known as Red Tail Hawk.
You're listening to Germantown Community Radio, 92.9 FM, WGGTLP, Philadelphia, and online at gtownradio.com.
Definitely, and we definitely like for y'all to support. We definitely like to have the live listeners, right? And if we can get enough of y'all listening live, we might be able to open up the phone lines and let people call in and have some questions and things like that.
Absolutely.
With that said, we have a great show today. We're going to be interviewing Miss Firebird Graywolf. She is part Lenape. We are, in Lenape Hokings, and so I definitely like to shout out that. But we're going to let my elder share her history, share her name, and then, share a little bit about what you got going on today. And so please introduce yourself, Miss Graywolf.
Hi, everyone. My name is Firebird Graywolf. I'm an elder Cherokee Lenape woman, clans mother of a historical tribe. We don't have federal, we don't have state, but we have history of New Jersey, Anisalagi, Cherokee Lenape Nation. And we're a small group, but we're still representing as much as possible out there. And I want to thank Meredith and Tavis for inviting me to come on their show, which I feel is very awesome. I'm very proud of them both, and their wings are flying.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm sure that we appreciate that. But, we appreciate the work that you've done, right? And inspiring us to, want to stand up and share our voices and get our hands dirty and offering the community something. And so, I just want to piggyback off of your last statement. And I think it's really important for you to be able to feel strong about who you are, right? And acknowledging who you are, despite what the colonizers like to offer us. You still want to stand strong. You still want to offer that history to your legacy, right? And to the community at large. So, If you don't mind, just share a little bit about, how that process works for you, because that's actually one of the reasons why we started this, so that we could start to develop a bridge between the federal, the state, and the self-identified indigenous peoples here, and acknowledge why some of these things have happened to us.
Well, first of all, a lot of people don't believe Cherokees ended up in the Northeast. Their mind frame tells everyone that we're the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma, we're the Cherokee Nation of North Carolina, and that's it. That's all that you've done through the centuries to stay in those areas, or you were moved to Oklahoma. No other Cherokees existed. And that rumor is still going around. I see things written like, oh, you're a fake tribe, and unbelievable that you're spreading these rumors and slander. We're the only tribes. And that's not true. As far as I know, and historically, Cherokees are one of the tribes that were scattered so many places. Carolinas, Virginia, Ohio. My particular grandmother, great-grandmother, they're Chalagii Ndungi, which is Cherokees of Texas. And we went down there as early as 1809 and got some acknowledgement 1819. And just like other Cherokees, the Texas troopers, Texas Rangers, they moved us out of Texas, but a lot of Cherokees, like other places, stayed or ran. They moved us to Oklahoma, and a lot of us came back to Texas. Okay, this is interesting for Meredith as Lenape. There were Delaware Indians that came down and mingled and were taken in by my people down in Texas.
Wow.
And yeah, and they actually helped Chief Diwali fight some battles in Texas. People don't think that the Lenapes ended there. And if you do your research, you'll find out that we intermingled. When they moved Cherokees out of Texas, they also moved the Lenapes that had ran down from the East Coast. They moved to, as a matter of fact, the Lenapes are federally recognized in Oklahoma. So
we know.
It all went to place. Yes.
Yeah. So and
Well, that's some of my personal history. And a lot of us ran up east. A lot of people don't know that Chief Ross' children or his daughters went to school up in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
We had relationships with our kinship up in New Jersey way before the Trail of Tears.
Mm-hmm.
We were mixing and going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know that his family was mingling in New Jersey way before the Sandhills. They're recognized more than my people are recognized.
Okay.
But we're all kinship.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And
us natives
Jersey.
and indigenous people like to mingle. So that's definitely always going to be going on.
And another myth is that every Cherokee was, I'll say all nations ran out of fear. But after the colonizers came, a lot of us worked for them or had businesses, and we left our tribal land to seek out more places to work. So that's another reason why we ended up in other places. You just think of running for fear. no, economy was a major concern as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
That's
I just wanted to share some of that history with you of how the history books don't tell these things. And as an elder, it's important that I pass that down to your generation so you may pass it down to your children. You know, everything wasn't about just running. Some things were about economics as well.
yes, yes, especially and I would say it was like another kind of movement of tribal people in the 60s and 70s. I know my
Mm.
grandfather moved to Philadelphia from New Jersey. I think in the 60s. Not sure actually. Maybe before.
No, actually,
But he moved for work because there were no
For
jobs
work
down
as
in
well.
South Jersey. Yeah, because it
mhm.
was farmland and times were changing, and a lot of people were just moving out of the area.
Yeah, that's how actually.
Right,
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's how my family got to Philadelphia too. My
Hmm.
grandfather
right.
in the late
And as
'40s.
you know, they're saying there's no Lenape in Philadelphia or Pennsylvania.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, and that's
You
a.
know, the rules just fly, you know.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, and that's why it's very important for us to have individuals such as yourself to come on here and share our stories, right? Because we have to acknowledge that our stories wouldn't necessarily appear in the United States history books, and we have to acknowledge that and then start creating archives for our history to be told by our people, because that matters to us and it doesn't necessarily matter to another group, and that's okay, especially now that we have ability and the function and the capacity to be able to start to develop that ourselves, which leads me to the next question for you. Well, not really a question either, really, because it's a fantastic thing that you and your partners are doing up in New York. And so, please share your vision with the community and what you're doing with the Indigenous Peoples Day Parade, and how they might be able to find out more information about your organization.
Well, actually, the parade was an idea as far back as over 20 years ago. I was a visionary for the first Indigenous Parade of New York City that took place over 20 years ago. And because of negativity, it was the one and only.
Mm.
And I've been fighting for years to reestablish it and get with all the right people to bring positive energy to the event. And it's working. All you wonderful people, especially you two guys, you came and you stood with me and all that rain. And it was just amazing that the spirit was there.
Mm.
And I felt the need for the parade because we don't get great opportunities in New York City, the streets of New York. Um, I also felt that the natives in the Northeast were not getting the recognition that they so deserve. We were being overshadowed by our brothers and sisters from the Midwest, the West, the Southwest, and events in New York City.
Mm.
And I felt that this was not good based on that image only would be taken back by non-native people.
Hmm.
They weren't seeing enough of us represent at these events and the different phenotypes of native people. They were only seeing one type of phenotype, and I really didn't like that. We're a diversified people. Um, some young man said to me, I didn't even know that Indians existed anymore or looked like you, or there were reservations up here,
Mm.
Hmm.
and, that hit me. And that was years ago. This cannot keep flying. We have to show the truth.
And
And that's why I wanted this to be a success.
Right.
And it is. And once again, I thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yes, I love that. We definitely want to bring more awareness to what East Coast natives look like. From up to the Shinnecock, the Wampanoag, we do not look like a Plains native. So we definitely would love to join that fight as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
well, you come on board.
Yeah.
I
So,
welcome it.
so if I'm not mistaken, are you working on your third or your fourth annual parade this year?
This is the third.
All
This
right.
Yeah.
is the third, and once
Congratulations.
one ends,
Hmm.
we immediately go into preparing for the next one
All right.
because when I first applied for the permit years ago, the police officer said, "What part of India are you from?" Because every other nation but American Indians or indigenous of the Americas has an event like this. And they weren't accustomed to it. They weren't accustomed to it in our very Lenape land.
Right, in our
They were,
homeland.
from Africa, from India, from everywhere but us. I said, no, we're from here. And he says, oh, I never heard of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we are broadcasting in Germantown, Philadelphia, right? And so, please share the date. Share your YouTube channel, and share ways for people to be able to, reach out, maybe see it if they're not able to make it up to New York.
Come on, Philly. That's
Okay.
not that far.
Well, I hope you'll be out there broadcasting it
Yes, we
live.
will be there.
Every
But you
year.
can see it on like channels on the Red Road East, my godson's um,
YouTube channel.
program, and my YouTube channel, Native Voices Turtle Island TV. And we have a few other affiliates that are helping us film it. We're trying to get more press interested in our parade. We did get a couple of them last year. I think Channel 11 News and News One, they did some clips for us, and more politicians are coming forward. Once again, the parade is October 19th. It will be held from 12 to 3. Lineup is at 8 a.m. Ceremony and guests start at 9 p.m. We'll be doing some social dancing, and we'll have a little entertainment. And the parade itself starts at 12 noon, which is not really Indian time, but Indian time.
I just want. Did you mean 9 a.m.?
9 a.m.
Okay.
Okay, 8 a.m. Lineup starts 9 a.m. Ceremony, and everything starts to flourish. And 12 noon, we have to start marching because the city is in control of that. So, and at the end, it would be, Madison Square Garden, East 26th Street, okay, down to 17th Street and Broadway. And we try to have some intertribal dancing and singing at the end of that too.
Which I really
So,
enjoy
Yes.
every year.
Lovely. In the rain.
Hey,
In the
listen,
rain.
oh, that's wonderful.
Yes.
man, that
That's
rain didn't
wonderful.
stop
It
anything.
didn't stop anyone. The children.
Oh, the rain couldn't stop us. The creator was with us. It was just fantastic. It showed the dedication of the people to support themselves and each other. It was awesome.
All right. So
Awesome.
we don't have too much time but left. However, I wanted to just share one more thing and maybe get your perspective on it. And that's that, what I do really appreciate about your parade is that you have indigenous peoples from all over the United States coming, right? And they come to exhibit their crafts, their dance, their ceremony and their voices, which is a really important aspect of what you offer us, the opportunity to speak to other indigenous communities about what we're doing and about, the struggles that we all are facing within our individual communities and how we, definitely need to come together. And so with the respects to the exhibit of the various cultures and our dance and our ceremony, how did you, how do you, reach out to, just different indigenous communities from like literally all over the United States and have them come? I think we had people from Minnesota, from Florida, from Rhode Island, and definitely, New York and Philly. How do you do that, and how might other indigenous communities and other listeners support you in your efforts?
Well, actually, people came from Canada, all the way from Mexico, South and Central America. I'm an old bird, so I get to know a lot of people and determination. And I guess that's how it came about. Just reaching out, fellowship, loving each other, which is very important. Respecting each other's cultural, the things we have the same, the things that we have differently, and appreciating each other. I got a call from, I don't know if you know of the Apache crown dancers. They wear white and they have the big, look like antennas. Well, they said they want to come up next year.
All right.
And yeah, they want to come up. They think it's awesome. New York has the biggest populations of indigenous people from the Americas than any other city in United States. So it's like a hub that we get to know each other. And the way that you can ask people to help, if they can donate, if they can volunteer. Everything you see, we pay for out of our pockets. We need grants. This year, we were blessed by the American Indian Community House, which I think it was established in 1972. They came on board and they donated money to help us. So, yes, we need volunteers. If you could bring water or some unopened snacks, we would appreciate any help that you can. My email is firebirdgraywolf@yahoo.com. And you can write me or call me on that anytime you want. Right. And I appreciate you so much. Creator bless both of you.
Thank you, Anishi.
Well, thank you so much. Again, we're going to put the email up, and that's firebirdgraywolf@yahoo.com for our listeners. You're listening to the Save Our Ancestors Radio on Germantown Community Radio. That's 92.9 FM, WGGT LP Philadelphia, and online at gtownradio.com. Thank you again. I'm your co-host, Tavis Sanders, also known as Red Tail Hawk.
And Meredith, she who seeks knowledge.
And you just been listening to Firebird Graywolf of the Indigenous Peoples excuse me, let me say the correct name. It's the Indigenous Peoples Day Parade of New York City.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Thank you. Wanishi Wado.
Wanishi.
Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you.